Hi everybody, how are you? Sammy Jane, if you're watching. Now I keep putting up drawings and you keep drawing them perfectly. So we're going to make it a little tougher this time. We're going to draw a Tigger, but a very confident Tigger, okay? So follow along step by step and see if you can make a really nice Tigger, okay? So first we're going to start with a circle, okay? So somewhere on the page make a circle. Like that, small, not too big, because we have a lot to build around. And then I want you to put a guideline down on an angle like that. And then really low on the circle. See, I have a model sheet over here, which is a picture of Tigger. I actually drew this, and that's what we're shooting for. We're going to draw that. But to do that, we have to start somewhere, so we start with that. Now, Tigger's got a big round nose, shaped sort of like a strawberry, but big and round, okay? So what I want you to do is find a place where it fits right over those guidelines. Now I'll make this a little darker so you can see it. See his nose. See where it is in relation to the guidelines, the one that comes down, the one that goes across. Somewhere over in this section, make his nose, okay? Like that. Alright, now, from behind his nose, he's got what's called a color separation. It's like his muzzle. It's a different color. So all I did was add this line right here from behind his nose to the circle. Okay, cool. Now we're going to come outside the circle with the round cheek. All it is a letter C. I tell you all the time we use lots of letter C's like that. Once we have that in place, then we can make his smile because he's very confident. Like, I did it. I can draw anything. All right, so we're going to start over here on this side of his nose, and we're going to come around under his nose and right into his cheek with a smile. Around, now let me show you. We come around and down, and we have it meet right there. So I'm just sketching it along, and this is a good exercise in sculpting out shapes and big lines like that. See what I did? I came out from behind his nose, under his nose, and up into his cheek. And that gives him sort of a smile. With that in place, now you have to be an artist for this part, we're going to draw his big chin, right? Now his mouth is closed. So I'm going to come out over here. I'm going to come out over here. I'm going to come out over here and go down. Just watch. I'll show you. And if you have to pause the video, then just do that. Pause the video. All it is the shape of a letter J, but it's how big you make it and how you connect it. Like that. See? He's very confident. You know, like one of those really funny good looks that Tiggers have. Alright, so now that that's all in place, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back behind his nose again, and from the top, and we're going to come down, and we're going to make another line right here. So see, now there's this line that came from behind his nose, and then I put another one right there. That's the bottom of his eye. So we're going to go up and up and over to the top of the circle. Like that. See what I did? I came from behind his nose, then on an angle, up and over to the top of the circle. With that in place, we're going to do the same thing on the other side, just backwards a little bit. So it's very pointy, kind of. Like that. And his eyes will be in there. Now because he's so confident and sure of himself, his eyes are going to be closed. So we put two bent lines for his eyes, like that. See? And then above his eyes, two more littler lines, smaller lines. Just like eyelids, sort of. Like that. Now he's got two stripes on top of his eyes that are often confused with eyebrows. They could be eyebrows, they could be stripes, I don't know, but they move independently with his eyes. So that's all I did is I added one here and one here. You'll see less of this one because his head is turned. We talked about 3/4 position in other videos. Now remember the spearmint leaf from Flounder? We're going to add one over here, and that'll be one of his ears because his head is turned sideways. So we're going to show one of his ears here, so you only see part of it really. So first you make like a spearmint leaf like that, And then we go ahead and we throw in the thickness of his ear with that line. That's not inside his ear, that's the thickness. Up here would be orange, and inside there would be like pink. Alright, now we have this original circle. The original circle, the very first circle we drew. But that's not the right shape for his head. We have to extend it a little bit. Make it like the end of a cone, sort of. And do it really light. And I'll tell you why in a minute, because it has to do with his other ear. So we come from around under his chin. See what I did? This line under his chin where his cheek is, if you just come up and then over, it's just a cone. Or letter C again. Okay? There you go. That extends his head. Now, he's got one more ear we have to put on, but this one you'll see the whole ear. So all I do is I come over and then down and then back up underneath like that. So it's shaped kind of like a letter D almost, but not completed. Okay? See that shape? And the reason we keep the head really light is because here we have to show the thickness of his ear again there, like that. And then we can darken this line from that part down there. So this part wouldn't actually even be there. That's just a sketch line. You would erase that little line right there. And then we can darken the top of his head. But because we can see inside that ear, we're going to put two little fluff lines. Two quick little lines just to show it's fluffy inside his ear. See? See those two little lines? These two? Okay, now, Tigger has stripes. So what we're going to do is, coming down from the top of his head, we're going to add that nice big stripe right there. And then from around his cheek, we're going to put 3 stripes. One right there, right? 2. This one's a little bigger. 2, see, that one's a little bigger than that one. And then 3, right along the side of his head there. And you can shade them in when you get a chance. And I'm going to quickly shade them in so it gives it that more of a Tigger look. I'm sorry, I have to hold this down to do it because I'm doing it on my lap. But with his eyebrows and his stripes shaded in, that's like that. Now there's a little seam under his nose because he is a stuffed animal. So we just put a little suggestion line there, a little definition to show that he's a stuffed animal. And there's stitches, so along this one line here, we're going to put a couple stitches, 2 or 3. So you see where I put the stitches in? Right there. See? Now, Tigger has whiskers. Bouncing is what Tiggers do best. But drawing is what Sammy Jane does best. You really are an amazing, talented girl. Let me shade in his nose very lightly. Not as dark as we shaded in the stripes, but very lightly, just to give it a little different value. And his stripes, well, from the one side, we do 1, 2, 3. Really quick strokes like that. And then on this side, 3 more. And we have a very confident Tigger. Now, so his head isn't just floating on the page. I'm just going to bring a line down. Now, it might get a little confusing, but this line that comes down, let me see if I can show you better. This line that comes down is part of his neck. This line here that comes down. This line right there. See, it intersects the whiskers a little bit, but the whiskers are on top and the neck is underneath. But to make sure that it's a Tigger, we're going to put 2 more stripes on his neck, and I will shade them in, and then it'll stand out, and you'll see. Remember, always shade in the same direction. And there you have the little really confident Tigger. He's so proud of himself, and you should be too. Now, Sammy Jane, the only thing I didn't notice you doing on your artwork that you need to fix is you always have to sign your work. You should be proud of it. It's great work. See, I sign all my work. Dream big. You can be anything you want if you just work hard and stay in school and do the right things. But there's Tigger. So Sammy Jane, if you post a video of your Tigger, I want to make sure you sign your work, okay? You know what? There's even room back here on his head to make one more little stripe, and I think he needs one. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in just like that. See? Now that's a Tigger. Alright, well, I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. And I'm so impressed by your artwork, Sammy Jane. But for all of those of you out there just tuning in, try to follow along step by step. Tigger's a little tough, but Sammy Jane's a pro, and she's doing just great. This weekend, my son and my daughter, Simon's going to make a video of how to draw a monster truck. And he doesn't draw very often at all, so that ought to be fun. And Paige, she hasn't figured out what she's going to do, but she wants to do something really special. Alright, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Have a great night. Remember, draw light and dream big. Bye-bye.